Hello again, everyone. I'm Teri Barr, the host of your PennyWise podcast from Lee Enterprises. Always happy to have you here with us. And I got to ask, did you circle this on your calendar? Yeah, talking about Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, with this year being November 25th. I know so many of us look forward to this day as a chance to hang out with friends and family and go shopping and get all those great deals. If you're going to be hunting for deals, though, what can you expect this year? Well, Kimberly Palmer is here. Kimberly is a personal finance expert with NerdWallet. She is going to give us some tips and ideas so we can get through this holiday season and still sort of enjoy it as we're out there shopping and trying to figure out where to spend our money. Hi, Kimberly.
Hi, Terry. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, and you, as always, especially this time of year, we know how people are just really starting to ramp up for the holidays. Decorations in many stores already up even before Halloween, and some sales are underway at this point. Do you feel like this is just the beginning of the holiday shopping season?
It really is. What jumps out about this holiday shopping season is that it started earlier than ever, which means it is lasting longer. And then also it's more expensive. And so it means that for consumers, we just have to be extra organized and really think through what's on our shopping list this year. How can we prepare? How can we get the best prices possible? So there's a lot to talk about.
And the shopping list may be important, especially this year when we're talking about some of the sales and the items you hope to get on sale. Let's start there. So sales are happening throughout the month, but is this one of those years? Do you shop early or do you wait it out, or do you do a little of both?
I think that the best approach, and this is a little counterintuitive, but it's
Yeah.
really to start shopping early and then keep on shopping when you see the best deals. But that doesn't mean you just want to, continue spending for months and weeks on end. So it means that we have to be organized and really make our shopping list and track the prices of the items on them. So we're not necessarily waiting till Black Friday to make our purchases. And that's because, like you said, the sale started so early. So we basically want to keep on tracking the prices of what we're hoping to buy and
Yeah.
then make the purchase as soon as you see the price dip. You don't want to wait to the last minute just because there's no need to. The discounts have already begun. So,
Ah.
we have to be organized.
And is it a benefit to actually maybe spread out the shopping, because then that way you can really kind of keep a grip on your budget too?
Absolutely. And I think this is kind of the hidden benefit to consumers this season. Because we can spread out our shopping over multiple months, it means that everything isn't hitting at once. Everything isn't hitting in December. And so we can really spread that out and make it easier for our budget to absorb all of the higher costs that we face at this time of year. So
Yeah,
I
that
think
sounds
that is
good.
something that can be very helpful.
Okay, very good. Now, here's the big bugaboo, if you will, inflation. This is a tough one because we just aren't sure how it could weigh into what things will cost this year, especially, I think I just saw a number where it indicates the prices in the last year are up more than 8%. How do we know if there's going to be any big discounts when you weigh in the inflation aspect?
This is such a big challenge for consumers
Yeah.
across the board. We're seeing higher prices between 8 and 10%, depending on the category that we're looking at. And that means there's so much extra strain on our budgets, and our shopping list just costs more this year. And so it makes it all the more important to really compare prices and make sure you are at least getting the best deal possible. Because there's so much variance in the prices, it really depends on what you're buying, what category you're focused on, and then you can really drill down and find those sales. Because you're right, it is more expensive this year than ever.
Oh boy. I want to ask you about something I've heard about called shrinkflation. Is that a real thing? And is that part of inflation? And can you explain what that is?
Absolutely. Shrinkflation is a pretty sneaky practice where we're used to buying one size of something, and then suddenly the manufacturer puts less in that package. And so we're paying the same price, or maybe we're even paying more, but we're actually bringing home less. And I've certainly noticed this, especially with snacks
Oh,
that I buy
yeah.
for my kids. There's just less in there. And so it really is a good reminder when you are shopping around and comparing prices, make sure you're seeing what is actually in the package, how much are you bringing home, because that really affects, ultimately what you're paying, your per unit price. So you want to make sure you're making those apples to apples comparisons.
Oh, and that per unit price. Thanks for mentioning that. I think we forget about that when we're shopping, no matter what we're shopping for. That kind of brings us to this next problem with the supply chain issues. Horrible. Last year and even, into the beginning of this year, could we see this happen again? And I guess I just want to mention something as simple as, kitty treats. Boy, the shelves are still empty. And I know we're talking about holiday gifts. So what are we going to see?
Well, I think overall, it's a good
Yeah.
news picture for consumers. And that's because, unlike last year, we're not seeing blanket disruptions to the supply chain that's really affecting categories across the board. So that's the good thing. But like you're pointing out, we are seeing some very product specific supply chain
Yep.
disruptions. So maybe it's with cat food. We're also seeing a similar issue with baby formula. So there are some very specific things that can be hard to get. And it means for consumers, you want to give yourself more time, and also you might need to drive further to find what you're looking for, and tap into the network of people who are also shopping for that item, so you can help each other find what you need, because it is hard for some specific products.
Well, okay. So we're talking about that. And we talked earlier about, if it's on sale now, maybe just go ahead and buy it. If there's a supply chain issue, does that still stick with that idea?
Yes. So I think the one
Okay.
exception to shopping these sales and really waiting for a price to plummet is that you don't want to not be able to get it at all. And so if you know what you're looking for is in short supply, then you probably just want to buy it when you find it available. And so it does change the dynamic of how we shop, for sure. And, the same is also true of really popular toys for
Ugh.
kids. We always see some of them run out, especially for those that wait to the last minute. So when it comes to certain toys that are popular, you also don't want to wait too long, although the price does tend to drop as we get closer to the end of the year.
Right. And I guess one thing I want to ask too that I've read about is leftovers. I mean, this is terrible because it would be the things that were so supposed to be so exciting last holiday. Maybe they didn't make it to the shelves. So now they could be leftover. But first of all, would they be on a deep discount and would anybody want them?
Absolutely. One thing that's interesting with the supply chain is that we are seeing excess inventory for a lot of items too.
Yes.
And this is very local specific. So you actually just want to go into your local stores where you shop and just see what they seem to have extra of. Oftentimes, what you see sitting around, and maybe it's been there for a while, you can even get extra discounts on top of what's marked. You can talk to the store manager and ask. And we're seeing this year, especially, it pays to be a little bit aggressive when you're shopping and make those requests, because a lot of store managers are empowered to give extra discounts when they have excess inventory.
Okay, well, that's good to know. What about loyalty? I mean, do stores or do they care if you really are a loyal customer? Can you get anything, any benefits from it?
Yes, the loyalty programs are huge with retailers this year, especially. And that's because they want your money. They want you to spend with
Yeah.
them. And they know we're all shopping around. We're looking at different prices, different stores, and they want you to come into their store. And so we're seeing loyalty programs. You often do have to give your email, your phone number to opt into them. And so you want to weigh the pros and cons of that. But often you get extra discounts. You might be the first to know about certain sales. And also, you can go to in-store promotions. A lot of times local stores are having extra benefits for those that actually come in versus shop online. So that
Ah,
can all help you stretch your budget.
okay. So do you think Black Friday is still a big deal?
I do think Black Friday is still a big deal because we are going to see a lot of excitement and early people who get in there early because they just love that experience of
Mhm.
shopping in person the day after Thanksgiving. There's something about it. But the good news for people that don't like all that craziness is that you can get a lot of the same deals well before Black Friday itself.
Would you say there's still an additional bottom line to this when it comes to budgeting and what we may see this year?
I think the bottom line is that for consumers, this year is really unlike any other because it started earlier than ever. Everything is more expensive. And what it means for shoppers is that we just have to be more organized and put some more thought into comparing prices. It might take some extra effort, but there are still deals out there.
Okay, wow. Kimberly Palmer, thank you for all you do to help us walk through this and hopefully save some money along the way.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, Kimberly again is with NerdWallet, and I'm Teri Barr, the host of your PennyWise podcast. If you miss any, you can always find all of these wherever you enjoy listening to your podcasts. And thanks for listening today. We'll see you next time.